You're only hurt because you care. Why does it cut so deep when someone calls you useless? Really think about it. It's not the words themselves that break you. It's the fact that you care. You hand the knife to the world and flinch when it cuts. Picture this. A Stoic Roman general stands in the forum. Stones, insults, betrayal. Yet his eyes don't flicker. Why? Because his worth isn't up for auction. He's built walls where you've left doors wide open. Seneca once wrote that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. And damn, he was right. It's not the insult itself that wrecks your night. It's the hours replaying it, feeding it, letting it live rent-free in your chest. You turn a passing jab into a festering wound because part of you needs their approval. Harsh, but true. And here's the kicker you won't hear in self-help blogs. Strength isn't about thick skin. It's about no skin. About refusing to let every careless word pierce the armor you forged yourself. You keep bleeding because you keep opening the gates. You keep hoping the crowd will love you. And that hope is the real chain around your neck. So ask yourself, who really holds the power? The fool who mocks you, or you the one who decided it mattered? It's brutal, it's freeing, and it's just the start. Because next, we're going to dig even deeper into why your mind, not the world, is your fiercest enemy. The world rewards the unshaken. Think about who actually wins out there. Is it the loudest truth teller, raw and unfiltered? Or is it the one who keeps a poker face when the room turns cold? Look around. The world doesn't hand prizes to those who wear every scar on their sleeve. It rewards the unshaken, the ones who swallow the urge to snap back, who keep calm when every cell screams to explode. Look at the corporate ladder. It's not the hot-headed genius who rises. It's the steady operator who nods in meetings, never shows panic, never shows desperation. In relationships, too, the one who stays a little mysterious, a little harder to read, somehow they end up holding the power. And the media? It doesn't celebrate people falling apart. It builds statues to those who never crack, even under fire. Epictetus taught that we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond. And that quiet choice, repeated daily, becomes a force greater than talent, passion, or even luck. Society doesn't care about your honesty. It cares about your composure, about how well you play the part. Keep your mask fixed, voice steady, heart rate low. That's what opens doors. That's what commands respect, whether we like it or not. It feels unfair, doesn't it? You've been told to just be yourself. But in the real world, raw authenticity often costs more than it pays. The world isn't built for the impulsive or the fragile. It's built for those who stand unmoved when storms hit. And here's where it gets really uncomfortable. This isn't just strategy, it's survival. Next, we'll see why refusing to be shaken isn't fake. It's the only way to stay whole. From Roman battlefields to boardrooms. Picture a Roman legionary at dawn, frost biting his breath, death waiting beyond the fog. Yet his gaze is steady, his heartbeat calm. Why? Because Stoicism wasn't just a philosophy scrawled on parchment, it was survival. On the battlefield, panic killed faster than arrows. Marcus Aurelius didn't write Meditations as a self-help diary. He wrote it because an emperor couldn't afford to shatter, even when the empire itself trembled. Now fast forward 2,000 years. Different battlefield. Polished glass towers, fluorescent lights, quarterly earnings. But the weapon? Still the same, unshakable composure. Think about Steve Jobs, standing on a stage after Apple almost collapsed. Voice smooth, face controlled, selling not just products, but certainty. Investors didn't buy silicon chips. They bought conviction. They bought the calm of a man who refused to flinch. It's tempting to see Stoicism as ancient marble statues, cold, distant, irrelevant, but look closer. It's alive in every tough negotiation where silence speaks louder than rage. It's there when you swallow fear before pitching an idea, when you keep your tone measured while your stomach twists itself in knots. As Seneca wrote, we suffer more in imagination than in reality, and that ancient truth keeps paying dividends. Stoicism isn't about dead philosophers in togas. It's about pragmatic utility. It works because it stops you from becoming your own worst saboteur. From dusty battlefields to buzzing boardrooms, the currency of power has barely changed. The world still bets on the man or woman who won't blink first. And next we'll explore why that inner stillness doesn't just look strong. It becomes strength itself. The Stoic Code: own nothing, fear nothing. Imagine standing on a cliff, wind howling in your ears, everything you own balanced on the edge behind you. Then it falls, gone. Now what? Most would crumble, scream at fate, curse the sky. But a Stoic? A true Stoic watches the rocks tumble and whispers, "It was never truly mine." That's the heart of the Stoic Code. Own nothing, fear nothing. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet reminded himself daily that palaces, praise, even breath itself could vanish tomorrow, because what you don't cling to can't break you. It sounds brutal at first, but look closer. By refusing to stake your peace on things you can't control, money, status, other people's moods, you build an inner fortress no one can storm. Epictetus, born a slave, taught this better than anyone. True freedom isn't granted by fortune or society. It's carved out by choosing what holds power over you and what doesn't. Picture it in modern life. Your boss humiliates you in front of everyone. You could stew in shame all night. Or you could shrug, knowing your worth was never up for public vote. A relationship ends. You could spiral, or you could let go, understanding love given freely was never guaranteed to stay. That's not numbness, it's sovereignty. You stop being a leaf tossed by every gust of fortune and become the tree, rooted, grounded, unshaken. This is why Stoicism isn't about stone-faced indifference. It's about ruthless clarity. The only thing you truly own is your mind. And next, we'll see how guarding that one thing can transform how you walk through a world built on chaos. Your reactions are their leverage. Picture a smoke-filled negotiation room in apartheid-era South Africa. Nelson Mandela, decades in prison behind him, sits across from men who once signed his life away. Their words drip with provocation. Subtle jabs, old slurs, reminders of chains and cell walls. But Mandela doesn't flinch, doesn't snap. His eyes stay calm, voice measured. And in that quiet, something remarkable happens. The power shifts. The men across the table realize they can't pull his strings. He owns his reactions. And because of that, he owns the moment. See, here's the ugly truth. Your reactions aren't just yours. They're currency. Every time you explode in anger, show desperation, or flinch at an insult, you hand leverage to someone else. It's the oldest trick in politics, business, even toxic friendships. Provoke a storm, then sell shelter. Mandela understood what Epictetus taught centuries earlier. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master. The second they know what buttons to press, they own part of you. And it doesn't have to be as grand as state negotiations. A boss uses silence to make you squirm. A partner hints at leaving to see you beg. A rival drops a rumor, knowing you'll rush to deny it and look guilty in the process. Power isn't always raw force. Often, it's the ability to steer your emotions to serve their plan. But here's the twist. That leash only works if you wear the collar willingly. Remove it, and provocation falls flat. It sounds cold, but it's liberation. Next, we'll look at how mastering this inner stillness doesn't just protect you. It makes you unpredictable, and that unpredictability becomes your hidden strength. Cut the puppet strings. Master self-talk. Imagine someone tugging at puppet strings, smirking as they watch you dance, and then you reach up calmly and cut every string. That's what mastering self-talk really is. It's not about reciting feel-good affirmations in the mirror. It's about taking back authorship of your story, word by deliberate word. The Stoics called this the discipline of assent. It sounds abstract, but it's painfully practical. Not every thought that flashes through your mind deserves a welcome mat. You decide which ideas stay and which get shown the door. Epictetus put it bluntly. It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Think of a deal collapsing at the last minute. Your first reflex? I'm a failure, everyone saw it. But then comes the cut. No, the deal failed. I am still here. A partner leaves. Reflex. I'll never be loved again. Cut. They left. That doesn't erase my worth. It's surgical, sometimes exhausting work. But each time you do it, you tighten your grip on your own reins. What's surprising? This isn't denial, it's command. You're not pretending the pain isn't real. You're refusing to let it write your next move. You stop being a puppet to every stray fear or passing insult. Your mind becomes a council, not a riot. This inner editing room isn't sterile or robotic. It's fiercely alive. Because you're finally the one choosing what stays on the page. And next, we'll see how this discipline, far from numbing you, actually unlocks a more dangerous kind of power. The power to move through fire without burning. Silence is a weapon, not weakness. Picture a high-stakes boardroom clash. The air hums with tension. One executive hurls cutting remarks, voice-stripping sarcasm, eyes locked on a single rival across the table. That rival listens, calm, almost bored, and says nothing. Not a twitch, not a flash of anger, just stillness. 10 minutes later, the room shifts. The aggressor starts to look desperate, insecure, even ridiculous. And the quiet one? Suddenly, everyone's leaning in. Power, without a single word. That's the paradox. Silence feels like surrender, but in the right moment, it's a blade sharper than any comeback. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." When you meet pettiness with calm, insults with silence, you reveal who's really in control. And often, it's not the one shouting. In politics, business, even your own friendships, people test your edges. They poke, prod, provoke, because your reaction hands them a script to follow. When you don't react, they're left without lines, exposed and off balance. It's not passive, it's precision. You're refusing to become a character in their story. Think about it. Silence isn't emptiness, it's space. Space for the other person to reveal their weakness, to overplay, to unravel. You watch, you wait, and in that waiting, your position strengthens. It's not cold detachment, it's strategic restraint. By staying silent, you say, "You can't make me dance to your tune." And nothing terrifies a manipulator more than losing the beat. Next, we'll see how this disciplined quiet doesn't just defend you, it actively shapes reality around you, bending outcomes in ways anger never could. Turn pain into positioning. Picture a young entrepreneur mocked on national TV. Investors laugh, cameras capture every flinch. Millions watch, and by morning, the clip goes viral. Most would disappear, humiliated, beyond repair. But instead, he does something different. He thanks them. Publicly. Says the ridicule showed him where his pitch fell flat, and fixed it. Within months, the same investors come knocking, now wanting in. What changed? Not the product. Just the posture. That's the Stoic art of reversal. Turn pain into positioning. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." A failed deal isn't a grave, it's a map. An insult? Free market research on what your enemies fear in you most. A breakup? Proof you survived what you thought would kill you. See, most people wear their wounds as proof they've been hurt. A Stoic wears them as proof they've survived. It's not denial, it's leverage. When you treat hardship as fuel, you stop running from it and start steering it. You bend the narrative. And the world, which feeds on your weakness, suddenly finds nothing to chew on. Imagine walking back into that same boardroom. Last time, they laughed. This time, you stand taller because they laughed. That laughter built your armor, made your resolve unshakable. Suddenly, the joke isn't on you anymore. It's on them for underestimating you. Pain never stops coming. Insults never run out. But you decide whether they plant seeds of self-doubt or seeds of power. And next we'll see why the final transformation isn't just surviving blows. It's becoming the kind of person who welcomes them. Because to a Stoic, every strike is an invitation to grow sharper. Stop seeking safety, build strength. Look around. Everywhere, people chasing safety like it's salvation. Padded bank accounts, endless backups, curated images on screens that say, "Look, I've got it under control." But here's the uncomfortable truth. Control is a story we whisper to keep the dark out, and the world doesn't care about your stories. Stoicism never promised safety. It promised strength. And strength only shows up when the ground starts shaking. Marcus Aurelius ruled through plague, invasion, betrayal, not because he could stop them, but because he accepted them as the price of living. He understood the universe is volatility. Trying to tame it is like ordering the sea to calm. Seneca wrote, "A man is not shaped by what he expects, but by how he responds to the unexpected." That's anti-fragility in ancient language. Not just enduring chaos, growing because of it. Losing your job? Forge new skills while others panic. A crisis hits? Step forward while most step back. It's easy to build walls, hoard comfort, mute every risk. But that comfort becomes a coffin. Muscles atrophy in stillness. Courage rots without danger. Your spirit isn't meant for padded rooms. It's forged in storms, arguments, failures, heartbreak. Every bruise, every loss is raw material. So stop asking the world to be gentle. Ask yourself to grow tougher skin, clearer eyes, steadier breath. Because when you stop begging for safety, the world's chaos becomes your training ground. And next, we'll explore why it's precisely this embrace of disorder, this strange friendship with fate, that frees you from fear completely. Become the storm, not the sail. A lone figure stands atop a jagged cliff, rain lashing, thunder roaring, and they don't flinch. The wind tears at their clothes, tries to shove them off balance. But they don't lean away. They don't run. They become the storm. Every muscle, every breath is a declaration. I am not at the mercy of chaos. I am its master. That's the ultimate Stoic transformation. Not hiding from life's blows, but owning them. Dancing in the hurricane instead of praying for clear skies. Marcus Aurelius faced endless battles, betrayals, losses, and yet he ruled his inner empire with fierce calm. His power wasn't in avoiding the storm, it was in standing firm while it raged. You've been trained to see storms as threats, things to escape, resist, or fear. But what if the real power lies in becoming the storm? In turning every setback into wind at your back, every insult into thunderclap, every failure into lightning that lights your way forward. This isn't about being unbreakable. It's about being unshakable. Like steel tempered by fire, you're forged through struggle, not despite it. You don't wait for the storm to pass. You walk through it, eyes wide open, heart steady, ready for whatever comes. So what's it going to be? Will you keep letting the world toss you like a fragile sail, or will you rise, not as a victim of fate, but as a force that shapes it? The storm is here. Become it. And watch everything bend in your wake.